How you guys doing? My name is Matt Balducci, high performance business coach and entrepreneur. And today what we're gonna cover is how I took my business working 100 hours a week down to 15 hours a week in the last 4 years while tripling my income. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is just a quick system. When we go through the system today, what I want you to do is pull out a pen and paper for me right now, because if you're watching this video, that means that you're an entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur. And if that's the case, what I noticed about a lot of entrepreneurs, including myself, is that we're control freaks, which means that we like to do everything in our business. The problem with that is you cannot scale a business that way. It's absolutely impossible to actually grow a business to a high level if you're a control freak. And it's okay to be a control freak. And I'm gonna give you guys some quick tips here today on how to systemize out your business so that way you can grow it, scale it, and maybe one day sell it. What I wanna do with you guys today is cover those main things. So the first topic that I wanna give you guys in the first tip is that you absolutely need to sit down every single week and you need to pinpoint the top 5 priorities for the week. So what does that look like for me? So I actually break it into 2 facets of my life as an entrepreneur. So there's 2 sides of your life. You have your business and you have your personal. The best entrepreneurs actually blend together. But what I see with my personal side is that I'm a huge fitness junkie. So I have my health and fitness, which is very, very important. We're going to talk about that in a second. I have my family, which is extremely important to me. I have my friends, hobbies, and anything else that I'm doing, my personal development. So those are my top 5 things personally that I take into account every single week. Then on my business side, the top 5 things are different every week. And the top 5 things are revenue generators. And most entrepreneurs spend their time doing things that do not matter. Honestly, even me right now making this YouTube channel is actually quote unquote not a revenue generator at this point in my life, but it will be because it builds up my credibility as an entrepreneur. Long term, it is a revenue generator. So that's why every once a month I come into the studio and I put together a YouTube, my 5 YouTube videos for the month. Okay, that's my little secret for you. So, but let's go into that a little bit more in depth because it's super important for you guys as entrepreneurs to understand this. Okay, because a lot of times the entrepreneurs that I personally coach are high achievers. Most of them make well over 6-figure incomes. And what I've noticed even with them is they're running around with their heads cut off. And what we do is the first thing we do is we sit down and we structure out the 5 things they're going to do in their business and the 5 things that they care about outside of work. Because what I've noticed a lot with entrepreneurs specifically is their personal side completely goes to the wayside and they don't focus on it enough. By the way, I was that entrepreneur. Okay, so when I was working 100 hours a week, one of the things I noticed is my health went to shit, right? I was overweight, I was unhappy, my energy levels weren't great. I didn't spend enough time with my family or my wife at the time. I didn't have kids at the time. And ultimately, I knew that I needed to make a change. And so what I started doing is looking into my business and figuring out how can I decrease my hours. So again, this was the first step, is being systematic about the 5 things that I do in my business. So every entrepreneur has 5 different things that they're going to be doing. If for me as a coach, one of those is prospecting, right? Talking to different clients, things like that, working on my network, going to a networking event. If you run a gym, like one of my clients, then your goal should be literally sitting down and talking to clients over and over and making sales. That should be your top priority. But a lot of times what I see is the person at the gym making Instagram videos, right? And all of a sudden they're wasting their time doing that when in reality they should just be bringing more clients into the door to increase their income. So that's number 1, guys, is you need to pick your top 5 priorities. Number 2 is you have to set boundaries with yourself first and boundaries with your employees and everyone in your life. Okay, so what do I mean by boundaries? So I was the worst at this. I would have employees call me at 5 a.m. in the morning, employees call me at midnight, and I would take the call. So I would forego sleep, I would forego if I was out to dinner with my wife. And a lot of times what you're gonna notice as an entrepreneur is that everything's a fire all the time, right? You're putting out fires all the time. In reality, they can wait. And what I learned over time is that that phone call at 5 a.m. could wait till 10 a.m. The phone call at midnight can actually wait till 10 a.m. So what I did is I set boundaries with myself first, because I was the guy who, no matter what, if I was out with my wife, like I mentioned, I would take the call and I would ruin the dinner with my wife. Now, when I'm out with her, I put my phone in the car. When we have family time, I leave my phone in the office. These are just little tips that you can do, especially if you have a family. But even if you don't have a family, I recommend shutting off your phone a couple hours a day, and even shutting off your phone one day a week if you can. Set boundaries with yourself and everyone else. Number 3, you need to structure everything. Structure equals freedom. And Jocko Willink, if you follow him, he's amazing. He talks about how structure equals freedom. When you have everything planned out, you know exactly what to expect. So what your brain is able to do is focus on the bigger and most important things. And that's why you see Mark Zuckerberg wear the same clothing every single day. The reason he does that is he completely structured out what he wears so he doesn't have to think about it. So I've structured out when I eat, my meal plan. I structured out when I work out, my family time, and honestly, when something gets thrown off, it's kind of weird. It actually throws me off a bit. So what I discovered is that if you can structure out everything, so I'm going to give you one quick tip of structuring, is you want to structure out when you even look at emails. I know a lot of entrepreneurs out there, specifically entrepreneurs, they'll look at emails all day, every day, and they'll wait to see if it refreshes. The problem is you're letting other people control your time. And what I want you to understand right now as an entrepreneur is that you control your time. That's the reason you became a business owner in the first place. So again, structure everything when you go to the gym, when you hang out with your friends, when you hang out with your family, when you're eating, as much as you possibly can. Number 4, which is my favorite, is delegate. So what I mean by that is you have to learn how to delegate tasks. And this is a skill, by the way. It takes time to learn. And sometimes you're going to suck at it, or you're going to delegate the wrong thing to the wrong person. What I discovered as an entrepreneur is there's things that I'm gifted at. All right, I'm gifted at sales. I'm gifted at big picture thinking. I'm gifted at sitting down with somebody and looking at their company as a coach and helping them expand and decrease their hours like I'm talking to you about right now and increase their income. What I'm not great at, right, is editing a video. That's why I hired a videographer to do my videos, right? I'm not great at the small, very detailed things that you have to do with business. So I hired someone to do that. So again, as you grow your company, guys, so I ran a construction company. I hired someone to manage all of my crews. I hired somebody to manage my sales force. So by doing that, I was able to decrease my hours from 100 to 20, like I mentioned in the very beginning of this video. And it's been unbelievable, but you have to learn how to delegate. Number 5 is you have to create systems in your business. So what do systems mean? So I go into entrepreneurs' businesses all the time, especially the ones that I coach. And what I discover is they do not have systems. So when you don't have a system in place, just like structuring out your life, if you don't have systems in place on how to hire somebody, how to onboard them, right, how to do a sales appointment, you don't have scripts, you don't have the things in business or in place that are going to help you basically scale. Without systems, you cannot scale. You cannot remove yourself from the company, and you're forever going to be the linchpin in your business. And you want to completely remove yourself from having to be the linchpin. If you could hire somebody to do it for you, like we mentioned before, structure it out, right? What you're going to discover is that the systems are going to happen, but you have to take the time to type them out, make sure there's scripts for everything. And that's what I do with my clients is I sit down and help them systemize out their hiring process, their sales process, realistically how they onboard people. We talk about every single job in their company because if they do want to open up a new location or scale to a larger business, they're going to have to be able to have these systems so they can duplicate it. So those are the top 5 things, guys, that I can give really quick tips on as an entrepreneur on how I took my hours from 100 hours a week down to 20. And I did it by tripling my business as well using these exact tips. So I hope you guys the best as business owners. You can go to my website at mattbalducci.com, or you can check me out on Instagram at mattbalducci or Matic Shock Fitness if you want to follow some fitness videos. But besides that, have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.